Horizons.
Good morning.
With Deb.
With Deb and
Jim.
Hola and buenos dias, everyone. Nice to see you. We're back.
Benvenuti a tutti. We
A
welcome
little bit
all
of
of you.
international, as you know. That's our thing.
We're so happy you joined us again.
Absolutely.
And I have a follow-up from our last conversation.
Okay, great.
We spoke about Epcot. Deb was raving
Yes.
about Epcot, right?
Epcot, absolutely.
Well, I happened to find a picture of myself at Epcot.
Oh my, look at that, Jim.
And one of the reasons I want to show them, this was me at Epcot. It was probably 20, 30 years ago.
Epcot,
I'm
there
kissing
you
one
go.
of the characters. See the pretty Epcot, the globe in the background?
Mm.
But what I wanted to say, at that time, people used to tell me that I looked like George Hamilton. Do you remember George Hamilton?
Of course.
He always had a
absolutely.
tan. And in
Yes.
this picture, I have a tan with the dark hair.
Wow, I love that. I love the red jacket on you. That's nice.
And
That's
who-
your color. That's one of your favorite
Which I wanted
colors.
to ask you, has anyone ever told you that you look like someone famous?
Zsa Zsa Gabor.
Really?
Only because of the way I wear my hair.
Yes.
And I get fancy. It's easier for me to wear my hair up because it's
She was
Florida
quite a
and
character,
it's not.
Zsa Zsa Gabor.
Oh,
and
was
the
she ever?
Gabor
Actually,
sisters.
I met her when I was working over at the Polo Club
You
in
did?
Wellington years ago.
Oh, that's right.
And it
She
was
used to
by
spend time
accident.
there.
Yeah, she and Merv Griffin, when I was filling in for my girlfriend on the weekends. And it was a lot of fun. It was a blast working at the Wellington Polo Club. But you did get to see, like, Jane Seymour. You got to meet a lot of celebrities. George Hamilton was one of them, Merv Griffin.
Yeah, because he was
And-
tall with
yes,
the dark tan.
Yes,
dark hair.
and then, of course, there was Zsa Zsa Gabor. And it just so happened one
George
time.
Hamilton, there he is.
Yeah. I love it. I could see the resemblance, absolutely.
And some people more recently told me that I look like Barry Manilow.
Well, that I've always said,
Yes.
yeah. That's always, you're the Barry Manilow.
And
you
then-
guys could pass for either cousins or I'd say brothers. I
Right.
would say definitely related.
And
no
last
doubt.
week, I never would see this in myself, but someone said that I look like Henry Fonda.
Really? Now that I don't see. But you're
So-
handsome no matter what, my Jim Jim.
So she said you should be in movies. So that was a compliment. And I said
You
that's
ought to
perfect
be
to
in
talk about.
pictures.
Oh yes, that would be a good
You
song.
ought to be the one,
I didn't
however it
pick that one.
goes.
But I have another good song for
Okay,
us.
here we go.
Judy Garland,
No one like her. She talk about entertainment. She's a bat.
The Wizard of Oz,
Everyone's favorite. Let's face it, everybody.
entertainment.
That's
And you know what I was going to mention that
entertainment.
because they used to show that as a child every year on TV.
Yes.
And you'd wait. When is it going to be on television
You
again?
know, we talk about our topic today is movies. That's so true. The anticipation as young children, and don't forget, we have black and white TVs. That was a big how do you do for everything to turn color.
Yes.
And waiting for that rainbow. You know me and rainbows. But it's every childhood's remembrance of having a beautiful over the rainbow experience once you saw The Wizard of Oz.
And
Absolutely.
they did colorize it at one point. I remember it was such
Yes,
a difference
yes,
when
yes.
they had good color.
Oh, what a difference. And to this day, I will watch it and enjoy it just as much. I think I enjoy it more as an adult.
It's a wonderful
You know that?
story,
It
yeah, because you
really
understand
is.
it more actually.
Do you know what I found out about that movie? You know when they were running through the poppy fields and the snow was coming down because the good witch was protecting them? That was asbestos, I found out.
Really?
I can't believe, I promise you.
Well, back in those
Google it,
days, they
Google it.
didn't
What
know.
can I say?
They didn't know anything about asbestos
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the bad effect.
But anyway, only that came to mind because that was one of my favorite parts of the movie when they're running through the poppy fields. We want to talk about movies. I don't know, Jim. I've got so many wonderful movies. I look at classical movies, inspirational movies. I go to funny movies, drama,
That's the beauty.
biographies,
That's the
scary
beauty.
horror, right?
Yes, that's the beauty
Animation
of movies.
happens to be another favorite of mine. I think of all of us, we're children at heart. How
Right.
many times have you heard me say children at heart? True.
And
Animation.
the movies
Shrek.
bring it out in us. Yes,
Have you ever seen Shrek?
yes.
And Frozen?
Yes.
In The Lion King, I would rather sit there and watch an animated movie because it just
And
softens my heart.
And it's
I love
funny.
it.
Some of them really have
More meaning.
clues for adults in
Mhm.
it, and have more meaning for the adults.
Isn't
but
that
the
the
children
truth?
enjoy it also.
Isn't
I love
that
that
the
fact
truth?
about
Yeah.
them.
We'll go to, let's say, inspirational movies. Rocky, Sylvester Stallone.
Yes,
1, 2.
that was
His
wonderful.
movies talk about
Yes.
inspiration. Having the doubt, but conquering the doubt and making it happen and becoming the person you've always known in your heart you could be. Field of Dreams with Kevin Costner.
Yes.
Another fabulous movie, The Blind Side.
It's beautiful that you can get
A
a
lot of
wonderful message
inspirational
from
movies.
these.
Yeah, and I was thinking about if we were to go on and on, it'd be endless. The
Yes.
amount of movies, just like music.
Every movie.
The amount of song, every day. The amount of movies. I mean, my goodness,
You know,
crazy.
when I was at Ocean City, I talked about Ocean City last
Uh-huh.
time, and I would love to go to the beach, so I would have jobs. One job one year was a ticket taker in a movie theater.
Oh, how fun!
And I don't know if you
I
remember the
love it.
movie What's Up, Doc?
What's up, Doc?
Barbara Streisand
Sure.
and Ryan O'Neal.
Of course.
Because
of
I
course.
worked there, I saw that movie 40 times.
I bet. And it was
Every night.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I loved it because there was a lot of action, it was comedy.
See,
And Barbara Streisand and Ryan O'Neal, they had chemistry together. It was really
they
a fun
always
movie.
did. Isn't it funny? You know, I love the classical movies as much as I do any other movie, but my one favorite has always been Gone with the Wind. I have
Yes.
always enjoyed Gone with the Wind. Casablanca,
You know, when
my
they
all-time favorites.
I'm going back to when I saw that in the movie theater. They had to show it in two parts because it was such a long movie.
Mhm.
When I viewed it, it was in two parts rather than the 3 hours sitting all at once, just because of the length.
It was
It's amazing.
it's very, and to this day, just like the animation movies, I can enjoy it every step of the way, no matter how many times I see it. As you said, 40 times with What's Up, Doc. And another classic is The Godfather. I
Yes.
mean, that's drama and
With all
but
the
you know
sequels
what?
too.
The sequels, and it's just one of those movies that you could watch time and time again. Musicals, West Side Story, for crying
Yes.
out loud, that's a wonderful, wonderful musical.
I was actually a member of that movie in high school. We had West Side Story. I was
Uh-huh.
one of the Jets, you know.
The Jets, yeah. What a great theatrical group of people that were involved.
Yes.
And the timing. You know, you think about Mamma Mia, Meryl
Right.
Streep. Remember, that's another one. All
Yes.
the musical activity that went on, the love, the emotion, and everything that they had to put into it. I mean, you have to have the timing to be able to sing appropriately and to be spot on, and to run with the others and have that flow, go with the flow. It's amazing. I love when I watch musicals. I look for all that, and I just can't get over how it's all in sequence.
Yes.
They do an awesome job.
Another
Beautiful
movie I saw
job.
multiple times was Foul Play. Do you remember that with
Yes,
Goldie Hawn?
I love it. Well, Goldie Hawn, she is amazing.
What a
She's great
comedian.
at anything she does.
From Laugh-In, remember she was on that television
Yes,
show
Laughing. Yes, yes.
And she was an instant hit because she had a wonderful
Yes.
it's a persona.
Personality,
Yes.
right. Adorable, cute. To this day, she's got that little face, an adorable cuteness about her.
Now,
Goldie
it's
Hawn,
something
she's
we
great.
can learn too from these experiences with actors and actresses. I saw her interviewed a few years ago
Mhm.
live, and she spoke about the casting couch. Remember, unfortunately, a lot of these screening agents and movie studio heads would require a woman to perform sexually in order to get them into a movie, which is terrible. Sexual, it's sexual harassment.
Terrible.
She said that she was invited to meet with Al Capp. Remember, he was the cartoonist for Lil Abner,
Yes.
the creator,
Right.
and he was in his
And
60s
little
at the
Lulu,
time.
too, I remember, yes.
He was in his 60s, she was 19, and she
Mhm.
went for this interview. He was in his robe, and then unfortunately he exposed himself, and he said, "I want to see your legs," was really advancing toward her. She
Mm.
ran out of there as quickly as she could, she said, because she was not going to do anything
What a
like that.
horrible situation to be in. That is
Yes.
absolutely horrible.
So
really.
I think we need to learn from those experiences also when you
My
hear
goodness.
that.
Oh,
But that's
yeah,
not
yeah.
the way we should conduct ourselves. And fortunately, they've been, stepping up the scrutiny of that so that doesn't happen in the future.
Right. You know, I did miss one movie. My Uncle Trini Lopez, The Dirty
Yes.
Dozen. Do you know that's a
Oh.
movie that came out in 1967? In fact, it won 1968. It won the for supporting cast. Actually, there was Telly Savalas, is it, and Charles Bronson, Ernest. What is his last name? Ernest.
Borgnine.
Borgnine,
Yes,
right? He
yes.
was involved, and I'll tell you, it was such a success that they won in 1968. A long movie, like 2 hours, maybe 15, 20
And the
minutes.
classics, you want to watch it again?
Again,
Yes.
a classic. And it was really a World War II, rebellious army captain who was assigned to put up with these 12 murderers,
Yes.
these convicts. But my Uncle Trini was in it, so a great movie, The Dirty Dozen.
Yes.
I'm proud of that because, well, we miss him, but I'll tell you, his legacy does go on. A great movie.
And I also wanted to point out, so actors and actresses could be an inspiration to us.
Yes, they most certainly can.
And I wrote an article a few years ago because I had come across Ida Lupino. I don't know if you remember her. She was an actress from the 40s, 50s, and into the 60s. But what she did was she actually went into production and directing, which very few women did at the time.
Mhm.
So that's really an example for women to follow, that you can be a director and a producer. You don't just have to be the actress
Right,
in a
right.
movie. And
Well,
Barbara
there-
Streisand has done that,
There's
more.
Penny Marshall.
Yes,
Penny
Penny Marshall's
Marshall
done
did
that.
that as well. I got kudos to her. Fabulous, talented lady.
And then I
They're all
wanted to
fabulous,
point out
talented.
Hedy Lamarr. Now, some of you might not remember her,
Mhm.
because she's deceased now, but she was at one time considered the most beautiful woman in Hollywood. She was born in Vienna, Austria.
Mhm.
When she was 20, she went to London and she happened to meet Louis B. Mayer, who had the studio.
Mhm.
And he offered her $125 a week, and she said, no, that's not enough. And she left. Well, then she found out he was going to be leaving from London to sail to New York, so she booked that cruise to be with him. And she brought all these wonderful outfits with her. So each
Wow.
night she wore a different outfit, and he eventually offered her $500 a week.
All right,
Because he
okay.
saw how really beautiful she was. And she
Wow.
accepted that. But the reason I'm highlighting her, she was also an inventor. At some time when she was, going to be in the movie and waiting to get on screen, she would do drawings, and she invented a system. It's called frequency hopping for torpedoes. Imagine
Wow,
the na-
frequency hopping towards.
during World War II,
Wow,
to
interesting.
prevent the torpedoes from being detected.
Wow.
She and another gentleman came up with this frequency hopping, got a patent, and it eventually was used
That's
by
amazing.
by the U.S. Navy.
See, there's nothing you can't do.
And some people think actresses, they're airheads. They're not. There's substance to them. That
Of
they're
course, of
examples for
course.
us, and we really have to give kudos to people like that.
Absolutely, kudos.
And
Love
Charlie
it.
Chaplin, remember
Charlie,
him?
of course.
Silent screen star.
Silent screen star, and one of the really.
He
we
produced all of his
we go way
movies.
back.
You would never have thought of that.
I heard
back.
about that.
Yes,
Mhm.
as a filmmaker
Yeah,
also.
Charlie Chaplin.
Yes, and he wrote the
just
song
did his
Smile.
Own thing. Yes.
You know that song, Smile?
Smile. Oh my gosh.
Smile,
Though
though your heart is
breaking. Smile, even though it's aching. Am I saying that
Yes.
right?
That was him. He
Although
wrote
there
that.
are tears in the sky.
I
Oh,
feel
so near,
dear.
something like
Yes.
that, but we're close.
Yes.
We're on target, but
It
that's
sticks
a
in your
beautiful
head.
song.
Yes.
Beautiful song.
And he was the
Very
one that wrote that.
sentimental.
Yes.
It's fun because I remember as a young girl, I always wanted to, these are the things I wanted to be, either a nurse, a teacher, also an actress was one of mine. But as a child, you dream, and it's great to dream. As you know, we love to go to Orlando. Greg and I were
Yes.
discussing it. It's been a while, many of years, but the one year, this is going back way before 2008. In fact, we had gone to Universal Studios, one of the theme parks, and we'd break it up. We'd go to Disney, we'd go to Epcot, which takes a lot longer because out
Right.
of all the theme parks, that's the one that you need that extra time with all the different countries. But we had gone to Universal Studio, and we had so much fun. They were showing how the movie Earthquake was made. And of course, everybody's in the room, and we're seeing the video clips, and we're getting different segments of how it was made. And there's a director, the manager, and what does he do? He starts picking out people. He's like, I'd like a group of you, a handful of you, to come with me, and who wants to be a part of the movie? I didn't raise my hand. I promise you I didn't, but I was picked. So there's Greg looking at me, and I'm like thinking, oh boy, and he's got the video camera. But back then, the video cameras were the big bulky
Yes.
cameras that Greg was lugging around.
Oh,
But it was so much fun.
got
We
our
went
own
in
movie
there-
star here.
Woohoo!
Tell us about it.
But I walked in, I thought to myself, how am I going to do this? I don't know what I'm doing. But he was such a great director. He says, okay, now you stand there, and you stand there. We had to pretend like we were on a shopping spree.
Right.
And in my hand, I had a brown paper bag, as if I had just gotten back from shopping, and I was leaving to go on the escalator. And as I'm on the escalator, along with the other people who are shopping as well as me, and we're trying to get on to our way, and all of a sudden we hear boom, and the shaking and the noise. And we have the props, the fake rocks falling down. And we're actually, and he's like, okay, now shake. And I'm on there going like this. I'm shaking as if it's
What a
really,
wonderful
oh
experience, yes.
my gosh. And then the music from the earthquake started, the movie. I'm like, oh, it was so much fun.
Yes.
And then I turn, I look at Greg, he's laughing, but he's got the video camera. Everyone's like engrossed. But we all did our parts because he was such a great director. And he says, okay, now hold on and pretend like this is it. You're going to really hang on for dear life. And I drop my bag. He goes, you, okay, die, fall. And I'm like, oh my God. So when he told me to die, I said, okay, I'm done. Boom. And I fell on the ground. It's on video. All I can
Oh,
tell
I got to
you. It
see
was
that
so
sometime. I want to
much
see that.
Fun.
Maybe we'll bring it here when he.
That's what
show it to
Universal
you.
Studios is all about. Again, the theme parks, movies, anything you do when you go to the theme parks, it's fun. But I had to bring that up. What an experience that was.
Well, when
Oh, was that
Back
fun?
when I lived in Springfield, Massachusetts, they announced in the newspaper that they were going to film a movie there called
Uh-huh.
The Reincarnation of Peter Proud.
Oh my, yes,
And-
yes.
And Michael Sarrazin was the star, and they were looking for people that could stand in for him. And he's tall, dark hair. So I sent in my photo because I thought I would love to be in a movie, right? Well, I didn't get picked, so I was disappointed.
Aw.
But it was fun to try and send in that photo and wish that I was part
Oh,
of it.
of course. Listen, you don't ask, you don't get.
Yeah.
And it's fun. I mean, hey, and how about these movies like The Walking Dead?
Yes.
Okay, no, even though that's happens to be one of my husband's favorite, and I understand it's a really, I mean, I've seen some of it, I don't particularly care
Yeah,
for
that's
it.
not my type
That's
of
not my type. But they get ravings, and they have got the ratings and the ravings involved with this.
Yes.
But the amount of people, the extras that they've gotten for that show, I mean.
Oh, maybe I
it
should
was-
send in my photo for that one.
No, I'm just saying, think about the movies where, like, the musical, West Side Story,
Right.
the people who do the dancing.
Right,
Just think, it's never, I don't care how old you are, it's fun,
it
it's
is.
never too late, and if you want to do it, go for it. Send in your
Yes.
resume or make a phone
Yes.
call. Movies are great fun, whether you're the star or whether you're a prop in the background,
We
whatever
encourage
it may
you.
be. Right.
Participate.
And trust me, I had my experience at Universal Studios, and it was fun.
Yes, you'll
It
always
was a
remember
lot
that.
of fun. I'll always remember that.
Another movie I liked was Under the Tuscan Sun. Did
Under
you
the
see that?
Tuscan Sun.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Diane
gracious. All the
Lane.
great movies, Jim.
That was a book first, Frances Mays,
Classical. Beautiful.
about Tuscany. And my sister and sister Angela and John visited Cortona, where that was filmed, and they actually had dinner with Frances Mays. They
Isn't
met
that
her.
nice? You see? It's wonderful.
So it's sometimes just being exposed to it and then meeting the person who creates it is
You
just
never
so
know.
wonderful experience.
You
Yes.
never know. Yeah, absolutely. You never ever know. I mean, you could be, timing is everything. You could
Yes.
be someplace and you can meet somebody and think, oh, gee. And that's happened many of times. It's
In fact,
like
now
I
I
said.
remember I saw some films being made in Central Park when I was there periodically. And it was interesting to watch because for rain, they would have this system of like a metal piece
Uh-huh.
above everybody, and then all of a sudden the water would come from it, so it would look like it was raining. So it was
Nice.
just to watch it being
that
made.
brings me back to, remember it was a while back, Paul Newman, the movie Harry and Son?
Yes.
I remember it was filmed in downtown Lake Park, and all we got to see, we saw Paul Newman, we saw, I forgot his name for crying out loud, but anyway, the wrecking ball knocking down the
Right.
building. And it's really exciting
is.
to see what takes place in making of a movie, and really, it's a lot of hard work. I mean, it's not just acting, I mean, it's not just knowing those lines, it's knowing the general area of everything, your whole atmosphere, the people that you're working with, and of course remembering the lines, but in the specific movie that you're in.
Yes, and
You
it
know,
makes you
and-
aware of what it takes to make a movie. It's not just the actors and actresses.
Right.
You have lighting, you have sound, all of the
I mean-
effects. It's a joint effort, and most of our ventures
It
in life
really
are
is.
joint efforts.
Yeah.
So we need to appreciate those who we work with because it is a joint effort in so many ways. You
You
mentioned Paul
think-
Newman.
Yes.
I'd like to commend him because remember he started the salad dressing,
Oh, absolutely.
and all those
The salad
proceeds,
dressing's excellent.
all those
Excellent.
proceeds go to charity, which is
Well,
so
that's the-
admirable.
Very
about him.
admirable, and that's the kind of a man
Yes.
he was.
He and Joanne Woodward, his
Absolutely,
wife.
that's the kind of man he was, and we thank you for that, Paul
Yes.
Newman. We really do. With all the wonderful, wonderful salad dressings out there, yours is up there. We thank you.
Now, some of the greatest movies have had multiple versions.
Yes.
So that, I think, is the sign of a great movie. For instance, A
If it
Star
has-
is Born.
Oh, love it. Barbara Streisand. There was 4, I
Yes.
believe, right?
Do you know who the first one was?
The first, oh my
female?
goodness gracious. I can't think.
1937,
But I know Barbara Streisand. Chris
Janet
Christopherson.
Gaynor.
Okay, yes.
Janet Gaynor,
The first
1937. Judy Garland, 1954. Barbara Streisand, 1976.
And that was with Chris Christopherson
Yes.
in 1976.
And Lady
right.
Gaga in 2018.
That's right. The most recent was Lady Gaga. And I'll tell you, Lady Gaga, mwah, you're great. What an actress.
Yes.
I really admired her singing. But her acting ability,
Yes.
you're awesome, lady.
Yes, and you
You're
know,
awesome.
you should watch all of those versions because it's so interesting to
To see,
compare
right.
the techniques that were used and the way the actresses interpret
Exactly.
the
From
character.
that point to this
Yes.
point. Right.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Because I enjoy both Barbara Streisand. I've seen the Judy Garland one, yes.
Yes.
And I've seen I haven't seen Janet Gaynor. That might be harder
No,
to
that
find.
I haven't seen either, but
'Cause
I've
that's
seen
1937.
Lady Gaga and of course Barbara Streisand. The first 2 I have not, but I will tell you what. I mean, what a story that is.
Yes.
Oh,
And we thought it
heartfelt.
would be fun to give a prize today. So we're going to give you a question.
Listen up, everyone.
$50 gift card.
Okay, get ready.
And what you'll please do to find the answer to this question, and you're going to private message Deborah at Deborah Lopez Colalela on Facebook Private Messenger, or myself, James Chaffee, CIOFFI, private message me with the answer to this question. This is another movie that has had multiple versions, okay?
Okay,
So
listen
you're going to have
up.
to tell us what the name of this movie was. It was first a silent film in 1925. It's based on a French novel, and the star at that time was Mary Philbin, Philbin, okay? Then the other versions were 1943, 1962, 1989, and 2004. So please let us know the answer to that question, and you could be the winner of a $50 gift card.
Fun, come on. We want to hear from you.
So let us
All
know the
right.
answer to that question.
Absolutely.
I also wanted to mention before we close, when I talked about Hedy Lamarr, she was very inspiring in another way. She gave an interview and she said something that was a comment that was very touching. I wanted to read this. Because she wasn't always that well respected as she grew older, unfortunately, she had plastic surgery and it did not turn out well, and she was not offered the roles that she was previously. So she said this: people can be unreasonable, illogical, and self-centered. Love them anyway. The biggest people with the biggest ideas can be shot down by the smallest people with the smallest minds. Think big anyway. Don't let
Regardless.
anyone destroy your dreams.
Don't let anyone steal your dreams.
Even if you feel you've been kicked in the teeth and the world never gave you the applause you deserve, do it anyway, because it's changing the world that you'll find meaning at the end of your life. It's in trying to make your mark. It's in the work, the doing, that you'll find meaning, not the applause. So beautiful, Hedy Lamarr.
Beautiful,
Thank you for that
beautiful.
inspirational quote.
That is lovely.
It just shows you the quality of a person that she was and how deep she thought about things.
Amen. Amen. That is so nice. And you know, if you go along that path every day and think about others, and you know, it's a whole different way of life.
Yes.
It really is.
Don't
It's a
ever
whole-
let anybody deter you from your dreams.
Absolutely.
Or criticize you or make you feel that you're not the person that you are. If that person's in your life, you need to move on and find
Yeah.
someone else who appreciates you. So
Yeah,
we
we always
wanna
try
be
to do,
inspiring
always
to
be
you.
kind to one another, do
Yes.
the right thing by one another, do unto others as you want done to you, as we all know, and to be very, very true. Because you know what? Life is too short. We're here now. Who knows what tomorrow is going to bring?
And I wanted to mention, we've periodically mentioned people, things that have happened in the past week. My cousin Nancy Kuiper, would have been her wedding anniversary last week. I was the ring bearer in her wedding.
Oh my!
At 5 years of age, I carried that pillow
That was just yesterday.
with the ring on it down the aisle. I can still remember walking down the aisle at the church.
My
sister was the flower girl and I was the ring
See
bearer.
that? Oh my!
It was only when I was an adult, Nancy, she's watching this,
Aw.
that I found out that the
Hi,
real ring was not on the pillow. They didn't trust me to carry the real ring.
Aw, Jim, poor little Jim. Oh my!
But I can understand why they could thought it could have dropped.
Of
There could have
course,
been
of course.
a catastrophe at the wedding, so that was avoided.
Oh my!
But thank you, Nancy. You really made me
Aw.
feel a part of the family by being a part of your wedding, and I love you for that. And
Hi,
I'll always
Nancy.
remember
Thank
it.
you, Nancy. Jim's going to remember. That's a nice story. See,
Yeah.
this is what I mean. These are fun stories to always remember. And you know, we're almost the end of June,
Yes.
into July. I did want to bring up one thing: the horrendous, horrible situation that's happening in Miami right now.
Yes, we have to pray for all those people.
We pray for all of. Oh, it's an unfortunate circumstance. We just pray and
The building that collapsed.
the
we're
building,
talking about.
Surfside in Miami.
Yes.
What a horrible, horrible situation. So God be with all of you. We
Yes.
love you, and our
Remember
prayers
them
are
all
with
in
you.
our prayers. Yes.
Absolutely. And as our
What a difference a day
segment
makes.
ends, we always want to make sure that our difference is made and meant for you guys. What a difference a day makes. 24 little hours brought the sun and the flowers where there used to be rain. What a difference a day makes. And the difference is you and you and you. The difference is really you. We want to
Yes.
say, mwah, we love you.
Thank you
And,
always for joining us.
Te quiero mucho in Spanish. Love you very much.
Oh, ti amo in italiano.
Yes. Until next time, have a wonderful day.
And remember to
keep
keep
your
your horizons
horizons bright.
bright.
Love
Thank
you
you
all.
for joining
Bye-bye.
us. We really appreciate you. always appreciate all your wonderful